What's up? Are you coming or not? We are ready to go. This is going to be amazing. You need to make sure you are in the room at the Owning It and Living It experience November 1st through 3rd in Atlanta, Georgia. Don't worry about next year. Come this year. This year, I am giving away a fully renovated house, and I'm telling you right now that I'm not giving away one next year. Not only will you learn from me, you'll learn from so many amazing people in the industry. Henry Washington, Kendra Barnes, Jackie and Preston Perry, Lecrae Moore, Felipe, Ingrid, Sarah. You gotta be in the room though. This is the perfect conference to merge Black and brown culture with real estate knowledge. We are going to be dancing to Joanna and learning all about real estate. You're gonna actually learn some specific strategies that's gonna help you scale to the next level. Go ahead, go to the link below and grab your ticket today.
One of the things that we built, and we built a lot of things, but one of the things that we built is a way to help our members really get that confidence in the numbers.
A person's wealth is determined by their assets, investments, and things that they own. I say true wealth is about how you live it. Your girl is back. Welcome to season 2 of Wealth Within Reach. Are you tired of spending countless hours sifting through property data and struggling to secure financing for your investments? Let me introduce you to Backflip. Backflip is the all-in-one platform that helps you to analyze any property in a matter of seconds. Yes, sis, seconds, okay? Pulling high-quality comps and giving you instant property evaluations. No more wasted hours, just quick, reliable data at your fingertips. OMG. Okay. Also, are you in need of financing? Backflip's app actually has you covered. Do you need financing? Backflip's app actually has you covered there too. You can apply for loans directly through the app, enabling you to scale your business with ease. And you know what? So that you can close more profitable deals. And here's the best part. Backflip even helps you decide the right strategy for each property. So whether it's fix and flip or rehab and rent, Backflip instantly helps you decide if a property fits your portfolio or if it's time for you to move on. So are you ready to transform your real estate investing? Download the Backflip app today and start making smarter, faster, and more profitable decisions. Time to make money, y'all. All right, Josh, I am really excited to have you on the podcast. Well, one, because you are absolutely a fellow Texan. And even though I am beginning to be a Georgia peach, I very much am still a Texan at heart. So I'm really happy to have you on the podcast. And so, yeah, tell us a little bit about Backflip, who you guys are, what you do, who you serve, and yeah, just get us started with the conversation.
Same. Thank you for having me, Erica. I'm super excited to have this conversation. I am a fellow Texan, but I'm cheating on you. Today we are talking and I'm in New York City. But I'm a Texan at heart. And I live in Texas in Dallas now.
Love it.
So Backflip, we are what I would call a modern platform for real estate investors. We like to think of our clients, our members, as real estate entrepreneurs, more so than even real estate investors. And we do a whole bunch of things to help these folks and empower them and support folks throughout their journey. And we're going to, I'm sure, dive into all the details. Our pillars of the business are technology, capital, and community. And across all of these categories, we do a number of things that we believe set up our members, our customers, our clients for the best possible outcomes. And we think that's the goal. And when our clients are winning, when our members are winning, that definitely makes both society, the neighborhoods, the homes, them, and us all win as well.
I love that. That's so good. I love how you guys call your clients real estate entrepreneurs. One of the things that is really foundational to my community, the Owning and Living It community, and us here at Wealth and Within Reach, is that we want to educate everyone to let them know if you received an additional form of income through real estate, then that means you are running a business, and that means you are an investor. I can't describe how many times people will tell me, oh, I have 2 or 3 properties, oh, I flip properties on the side, and they don't actually think that they are running a business. So I think that is really awesome that you guys call that. Okay, so from my experience, let me tell you my experience with Backflip. First, I love that you guys, because I'm very much, I try to stay up to date with like AI and modern apps and all these kind of things. And just, I'm big on like efficiency. There's no way that I can be an investor, run a seven-figure company, homeschool my kids. There's no way I can do all of that without efficiency, right? And so I love that you guys have this way of being able to help investors, that with the app and then the financing. Walk me through exactly how Backflip works and what makes you guys different than other, financing companies for investors.
Absolutely.
Are you tired of wasting so much time pulling data, reviewing comps, and trying to put together the financing to do your next deal? Guess what? You don't have to do all that. Backflip helps you to analyze properties instantly, helps you to pull high quality comps. You can actually apply for loans directly through the app while also choosing your best investment strategy. All you have to do is download the free Backflip app now and go on your way to make smarter, faster, and more profitable decisions today.
The aspects of being an entrepreneur, going back to that comment, and running your own business, there's so many beautiful parts of being a independent business owner and running your own business. It also is extremely challenging, right? And let's not sugarcoat all the complexity, all the things that are asked of all of us, myself included. And when we think about what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur, efficiency, which you described, is paramount to success. It's a high priority for anyone who's starting or wants to scale. And so what can we do to help drive efficiency, right? Going back to your core question, there are a lot of things that a real estate investor, real estate entrepreneur are asked to do, asked to understand the local real estate market. What are the trends? What's happening? Why? Asked to do marketing and sales, asked to do project management, asked to do construction and design, asked to do team management and talent, procurement, or sometimes having tough conversations, trying to understand finance and capitalization of these businesses and these assets, trying to maybe use data to drive insights, right? To lower the risk profile. I mean, it is a lot.
It is so many things.
Right? And it's like no modern human, as great as we all think we may be, can be exceptional in any of these things, or all of these things, excuse me. And so ideally, and this is how we think about it, ideally, there is something, one thing, maybe a couple, that each of these beautiful members of ours, each entrepreneur that's aspiring or scaling is really, really great at, right? And I think of that, I think about investing, I think about the word alpha. What's the upside? What's the alpha? What's the thing that is like unique about you as a person, as an individual, as an entrepreneur? And whatever that is, be honest about what it is. And let's find ways to be efficient in everything else so you can do what you're great at more and more and more.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And like a lot of those things that I described that real estate entrepreneurs are supposed to be good at aren't necessarily areas to drive alpha. To be honest, I'll be the first to tell you, being able to be the best possible finance person in this business doesn't really drive alpha. But working with a partner who can take that off your hands, who can say to you, hey, this is how you should think about it and why, and you have trust in each other and you're working collectively to understand what are the goals. And then it allows you to really move your time out of those areas that are maybe a little bit more mundane, time consuming, and probably not alpha generating, and reallocate your time to what you're great at, right? Maybe it's finding properties, going and being an amazing sourcer, right? Maybe it's figuring out exactly what the vision of a particular property could be, right? Having that design aesthetic and then being able to execute on the same. Or maybe you're great at procuring materials, or you know how to really do jobs efficiently, and therefore you can save a lot of money on a rehab, and therefore you're just going to be able to spend a little more on the purchase maybe than others, or make more profit and scale your business that way. So in a lot of these categories, either software, data, AI, a particular set of expertise, finance, can be, I would call, outsourced, right? Find a great partner, find team members, find a company like Backflip if you want to try us or trust us, and then scale the parts of the business that you have your own alpha.
Yeah.
And so that's how we think about it philosophically. And when we think about what we're building, how we built a bunch of things that are super, super valuable to our members and why we get all the amazing feedback that we get, it's because we approach it with that mindset. It's because we approach it with, how do we support you? How can we build things that like you didn't even know were possible? But then once you've played with it and seen it and used it or used our capital products, you're like, wow, I'm never going back.
Yeah. I love it. So I love your term alpha. What I call it over here is your zone of genius, So it's like, I love it. We're like fully speaking the same exact language, which is so good. And it's so good because when we focus on, like you mentioned, when we focus on that zone of genius, and we're able to actually make a bigger impact, a better impact, and which in result, we end up really kind of making more money when we're able to do that. I remember when I first got started, when I first bought my biggest deal that I bought, a big part of what kept me from buying and from being able to like go to the next level sooner was just the hesitation and I just got so nervous to run numbers on bigger deals. And I went to like an event, and it was so great. She put her hand on my shoulder, and because I was like so overwhelmed because I really wanted to grow, but I was really having a hard time running the numbers and being confident in those numbers. And she put her hand on my shoulder and she was like, you can get technology or get someone else to do it for you. And it was such a huge relief understanding that. And that freed me up to just focus on finding the deals, which is what you said. So focus on my zone of genius, finding the deals and negotiating, and then leveraging technology, XYZ to be able to underwrite it for me. And so I love that so much because so many new investors really like drag their feet on really good deals just because of a lack of knowledge or confidence around like, am I doing this the right way? And so I just think that's so huge. It's so huge.
Zone of genius. Love it. That's I might steal that term. I like my alpha term, but I think that's exactly right. And one of the things that we built, and we built a lot of things, but one of the things that we built is a way to help our members really get that confidence in the numbers. Let me describe that more specifically. So one of the amazing aspects of our application, which you can download, it's on the Google Play Store for Android. It's on iOS on the Apple iStore. Apple Store, App Store, and you can even use it on desktop as well. Which some of depending on how they run their business, if they're out in the field versus like sitting behind a computer, that can be really beneficial as well. And exactly what you described. So rather than open a bunch of tabs and try to find information from the MLS or from Zillow and then run them through a version of an Excel spreadsheet that you've created, which we don't say that you shouldn't do that too, like that's okay too. What Backflip's done is we pull in information, data on all these properties, comps, the property that you might want to purchase, the subject property. We take all that data and repackage it in a way that's exactly how us, a real estate investor, real estate entrepreneur, wants to see that information. We also give you all the backup. So it's all about transparency. I think this is an important part of how to gain confidence and trust, but also knowledge. It's important to see, okay, we're not just going to tell you that the ARV is this and then go on your journey. We're going to break down, okay, this is what the potential as-is value is. You can get that from the Zestimate, but we'll give you a few different versions of that. That might guide your purchase price. We might give you another version of how to get a purchase price. We'll give you the ARV. We'll tell you why and how that ARV was articulated. We'll show you the comps we chose. We'll show you the comps we didn't choose. And you can go in and customize this, right? So you can set up your own. I like to only buy using comps that were set up that were sold in the last 2 weeks. Forget about 30 days. Forget about 3 months. Forget about or I only want a specific radius for distance. Or let me curate out by days on market. I really want to see what properties moved and how quickly they moved. And to be able to quickly and easily like view the information in a way that can be helpful to then get confidence to inform your decision, that just becomes super impactful for our members. And because we're ultimately also a lender, which we'll talk about, we want you to have the most accurate information. We have no interest. It's not in anyone's interest to be misguided in how they're thinking about the deal, what the potential profit or rental cash flow or cap rate could be if they're thinking about it for a longer term hold. And so you can analyze it with all these numbers in mind, and we'll give you all the breakdown, like all the expenses, not just like we'll throw in conservative assumptions, like you're going to have to spend 6% when you sell that property, which may not be good. You may end up spending, selling it for less, which is great. Then there's upside and you can adjust that input. But giving people the full picture, I think, of what this property could look like is the ability. It allows us just to go in with eyes wide open and go back to using our time efficiently. The last thing we really want anyone to do, members, real estate investors, or Backflip or anyone, is spend a lot of time actually getting to purchase or purchasing the property and going to rehab when there's other deals out there.
Yes.
Right. So the quicker we can learn like what's not a good deal, then you can go find the right deal for you. Right? And by giving everyone this tool set that takes what would be a 30-minute, 15-minute, hour-long process to understand for a single property, like a good set of numbers. Forget about getting and walking the property and doing further due diligence. It's just that preliminary numbers takes time. If you're going to do that on 10 properties, 30 properties, 60 properties, you're talking about a significant amount of time. Condensing that to 30 seconds, 1 minute, where all of it's automated for you. And then you can change it. It frees you up to go find more deals.
That's a game changer. That is huge. That's huge. I mean, I know people who they work really hard to get to a place to refine their buy box and then, get our financing and stuff in order. And then they get to a place where they're ready to actually pull the trigger, but they aren't finding deals. And because they have a limited amount of time, because they still work elsewhere, underwriting one deal to the level of what you just mentioned can easily take an hour, 45 minutes on one deal, depending on the expertise of the person. And so being able to do that in 30 seconds is huge, 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 huge. And what I love is that it gives peace of mind, because what happens is, people get excited. They think real estate investing is sexy. Everybody is doing it. They're excited. They get, they go and get ready to buy a property, to flip it. And then something happens and they lose their money and they come to me and they're like, Erica, can you help me? And I'm like, and we review their portfolio and I'm like, why did you buy this property again? I can't tell you how many times I have had that conversation. And so being able to leverage tools that can at least just kind of double check what you think is there. Especially, I don't know if you experience this too, but there are a lot of us are very glass half full people, which is a good thing. But sometimes glass half full people can try to force a deal that may not be the right deal, and so being able to have like an extra layer of protection just to kind of go through to make sure, everything is on the up and up is huge. Okay. So I want to know, so you really broke down how Backflip helps to like underwrite deals and pull out comps, and that sounds phenomenal. Now, as far as on the financing side, what all do you guys offer? Are you DSCR? Are you fix and flip? Like, walk me through what you offer and what is that? Like, what is that for investors? Did you know that not only am I a real estate investor, but I am also a licensed real estate agent, and I have a team of investor-friendly agents here in Atlanta too? My agents are amazing, and we help people buy, sell, and invest in real estate all over the Atlanta area. So if you are thinking about buying, selling, or investing in the Atlanta area, you can book a free 15-minute consultation with one of my agents and we can figure out where you need to be. Go to the link down below and book your call.
So we are today a fix and flip lender. We don't offer DSCR today. We've spent a decent amount of time trying to understand when and what's the right product mix for DSCR. And so it's coming, certainly. It's just a question of how to do it the right way.
And what is DSCR, just in case? So
yeah, so when we talk about fix and flip and we talk about DSCR, the first thing to make sure everyone understands is we are not originating a mortgage that's going to go to Fannie and Freddie. We are not a traditional mortgage. We're not a bank. This is very different than a qualified mortgage that's going to look at W-2 income and underwrite you exclusively as a person and that income stream. What a fix and flip loan is that we provide is typically in certain categories known as like a hard money loan. It's designed to allow someone to buy a property. There's a purchase loan component to it and do the rehab component. So there's a construction loan bundled into that same loan. And it's also, and we can talk about it in more detail, it's a short-term loan. So it's a 12-month on average loan, sometimes more, sometimes a little less, but 12-month, again, designed to purchase and improve the property, hopefully pretty dramatically if you're doing great deals and you have a good business plan. And then after that, people may want to refinance into a longer term loan. And that loan is called, typically, if it's not a qualified mortgage, it would be a DSCR loan, which stands for debt service coverage ratio. And what folks are underwriting there is, does the rental stream of that property, the income stream of that property, create enough buffer coverage, so to speak, against the interest payments that are going to be due against that loan? And so the DSCR loan is designed, it can be a 30-year loan, it can be a 15-year loan, it can be a 5-year loan. There's a bunch of different structures. It can have a adjustable rate component, it can be fixed. But it looks more like a traditional loan, the traditional qualified mortgage, but it's underwritten against the property and the business plan, less so against the person and their W-2 income.
Yes. I love this. And this is huge because I get so many people, especially when they're getting ready to scale or they want to flip, they want to scale, and they're trying to figure out the best financing options. And what I describe the type of loans, whether it's a fix and flip or DSCR, is I call them asset-based lending loans because the loan qualification is based off of the asset that you are hoping to be able to create income or cash flow from. So I love that. So you guys focus right now, I love that, right now, on fix and flip. All right. So walk me through some of your suite of different products. Like, say, for example, if I was looking to buy a property and renovate, and so like, how would that, give me kind of walk me through how that will work for your fix and flip products.
Yeah. So exactly what you described. These loans are in the category called asset-backed loans, ABL, and so we are underwriting the asset. We're also underwriting the business plan. So what is the strategy that someone's going to utilize for this specific property? And we do underwrite the person. So don't get us wrong. There are some criteria that we use, and that will factor in, that mix of those three categories will factor into which loan products might work best for you.
That's good.
The highest level categories are this, like fix and flip and DSCR. But even within fix and flip, where Backflip has built our business so far and been quite focused, the status quo, kind of industry standard, what you'll see out there, again, is like a hard money loan. And those hard money loans can be great, depending on who you're working with, can be great depending on your business plan. They tend to have pretty standard terms. They tend to have a 12-month term, typically, in terms of their maturity date. They tend to have a fee up front. That's usually the origination fee, and maybe there's some other fees at closing. And then they have an interest rate, and that's paid over the life of the loan. whole category is called fix and flip. And for the most part, there's not much innovation within the category.
Okay.
Backflip, we're very different. We try our best to really deeply understand who our members are, who these real estate entrepreneurs are, and what are their real needs, what are their wants, what are their pain points. And so there's a lot of work that goes up front to call it the whole discovery process.
Yeah.
And when we spend that time and energy, what we're then able to do is within this category, we've already launched 3 products and added some others. And there's some attaches and stuff you can add to these products. And they're each a little different and designed for different needs. So our standard loan is one. We have a loan called a double, which is another one, which I'll share a little bit more. And we have a loan called Zero Gravity, the loan that sets you free, which is all 3 of those are in the fix and flip category. And but they're all different and they're all designed for different needs. And to my knowledge, there isn't a lender that has done much innovation at all in this category.
No, I haven't. I've seen just your regular fix and flip, 70% under ARV, just, very plain. I love that. Do you have a most popular product that people tend to use?
It goes back and forth. It's amazing. I mean, there's an element of, the market needs and the dynamic. There's an element of who you are. And even an individual might switch off, depending on which property they're working on. They might use the standard for several deals in a row, and then it might make sense to use the zero gravity, or they might, jump from the zero gravity to the double. And our standard loan, just super quick, like not going to go into too much detail. You can learn all about this by downloading the Backflip app or going to backflip.com, which is our website. And there's a whole lot of really detailed information. We're a very transparent company, so you can learn a lot about our products. But the standard kind of feels and looks like a traditional status quo hard money loan. It has a relatively conservative loan to cost, loan to value. It's a reasonable price. Depending on how much experience you have, you might be able to get that loan for a 1.5% origination fee and as low as a 10% interest rate. And we have different products and programs in place for people who are more experienced and more scale, to kind of set them up for more success. And then the double works really well when you're looking to limit your cash to close. When you're a little, maybe I would describe like more cash sensitive, maybe you want to do more than one deal at a time, and you have the experience that warrants that you're going to be successful at doing a lot of deals simultaneously. And then the zero gravity is quite different than the standard loan. So the zero gravity, what we do there, it actually takes from the playbook in the commercial real estate world, which we know quite well and have a lot of expertise in also in commercial real estate. And what we do is what's called capitalize all the fees and interest into the loan itself. So what that means in a practical sense for the member, for the borrower, for the entrepreneur, is they don't have to pay as much. It gets bundled into the loan and it gets repaid at the end when they are done with the project, when they have their profit and they've created that upside. And it really aligns interests, right? Like from Backflip standpoint, not getting paid is fine with us so long as everyone's successful, right? And we obviously want everyone to be successful in all the loans that they choose. But as a company, we're very much trying to innovate as much as we can and test new things. That's part of our core values, but also make sure that we really only work with those who want the best for us. And that goes conversely to how we work with members. We want to be aligned. So if you're going to get paid in 3 months or 6 months when you're finished with the project, we're happy to also be paid in 3 months or 6 months when you're finished with the project. And let's be partners.
I love it. I love that you guys aren't just like, a one product type of business, and that you are excited about meeting the needs of the different real estate entrepreneurs. Because even myself, like I can be in one season of like, okay, I have a bit more cash on hand. I can, I want to pay a more fee conscious in this season. And then another season, and maybe like, okay, cash is king. I want to hold on to my cash. I'm better with doing fees up front. So I love the flexibility that you guys offer. Okay. So I want to back up for like how I used to be and how a lot of people listening may feel when they hear hard money loan, they hear like, oh my gosh, super high interest rates, super scary, right? But just speaking from my own personal experience, for me, when I first started out investing, I bought one property a year, save, put 20% down, went in hustle, 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 put 20% down. And I called a friend of mine and I was like, okay, I know you guys just don't have so much more money than me. What am I doing wrong? And basically he described to me about the opportunity to be able to leverage hard money loans with, short-term financing to be able to refinance into long-term products. And which was huge, which it was a game changer. So then that next year I went from buying one property to buying 7 in 1 year. But I think the key to that also was not only just it unlocked access to capital, but if we can watch the market right now, even despite interest rates increasing and inflation being up, all those types of things, home prices still rose 6% in 2023. So what does that say? That says that prices are not going down. Okay. And so even so, when you're able to I love hard money loans because when you're able to tap into the additional capital that you need to capitalize on that deal, whether you're looking to flip or whether you're looking to convert to a long-term rental, you can take advantage of the deals today. I can't tell you how many deals I missed because I was afraid of hard money loans. So is there anything you can say to help demystify the myths out there around hard money loans for us?
There are so many things that you just said that I can't wait to comment on. I think the first on demystifying this concept of hard money loans, I think one thing that is probably true, and we should all be eyes wide open about it, is not all lenders, whether they're hard money lenders or otherwise, are built the same and operate the same way and have the same value system, maybe that you and I and all the amazing entrepreneurs out there have. And that's unfortunate, right? Like there is a unfortunate like transactional nature to certain both hard money lenders and a bunch of other parts of this industry, quite frankly. Don't get me started on gurus. We should talk about community because like that is a whole theme.
We're going to get to that conversation.
That I feel quite passionately about. So I do believe that for certain reasons, other hard money lenders have created that negative stigma. And the word hard money is derived because there's a hard asset, not because it's meant to be hard, not because it's designed to be difficult, right?
That's good. That's good, Josh.
That is the real reason why the term is used. And unfortunately, it's got this negative stigma. So much so that like when we describe Backflip, we typically don't say that we're a hard money lender. We're a partner, and we are, like in all senses of the word, and we can lend you money and we capitalize these deals. If you're not successful, though, we're not going to be successful at all. And so for us, it's creating a successful individual project for an individual. And if it's your goal, creating that scale, which you described earlier. So what can you do with good leverage? What can you do with a good partner? You can grow maybe more quickly, hopefully without taking on unnecessary risks, right? So it's about balancing risks, growth, and the business plan and the market and the market opportunity. And you described, what's happened in pricing and what's happening with the market. So for a number of reasons, I agree with you. Pricing is probably here to stay. It's pretty resilient. Supply demand is simply imbalanced. And honestly, the Fed is we'll see what happens in the September meeting, but the Fed's going to lower interest rates. I'm pretty sure it's a question of how much, not if. And that's going to decrease mortgage rates. Great, drives demand up. Supply still isn't there. So guess what's going to happen? Prices are only going to accelerate, right? So that sets up well if you are in a world and know how to continue to find great properties and have a good business plan. What's really cool about what's called value add investing, which is fixing and flipping, it's the technical term is value add. investing, you're creating value by rehabbing these projects, which is very different than buying a rental property. Buying a rental property is considered what's called core. Core is just a very different thing than value add. Well, value add, what's great about it is you can make money in up markets. Yes. You can make money in flat markets. You can make money in down markets, quite frankly. So long as you are thoughtful, have a good strategy, buy right, know what kind of project you want to do, have good partners, have good team members. It's a pretty resilient business, which is great. So that sets up well. That allows for the opportunity to leverage, and real estate is a leverageable asset. So the right amount of leverage, which a good partner will help you like figure out for that property and for you and your business plan, can be a weapon. It can be something that can be utilized to grow and grow successfully. And so there are, again, I'm starting to ramble, but there are just a number of things about the status quo industry that need to be demystified. We are part of that demystifying process, hopefully. And it shows. I mean, we're a relatively new company, and we started this business in summer of 2022, which is not the best time. The Fed, increased interest rates in fall of 2022. It was like not the best time to start this business, and yet the member feedback, the growth, the success stories have been phenomenal. And I think it's because of how we think about this, how our mindset and our philosophy. It's like our good entrepreneurs, like our best members. It's long-term greedy, right? We're all long-term greedy here, and that's been a win-win formula for a lot of success.
So thinking about entrepreneurship, as an entrepreneurship business owner, what makes us successful is when we solve problems, right? That's why we are amazing, because we figure out what are the problems in the world and we come up with an idea to solve it. Okay. And right now in the US, we have a huge housing issue, right? Affordability in housing. And so what I try to tell my clients is that please don't feed into the clickbait. There is a housing opportunity in every single market. I personally think that the housing opportunity right now is affordability. If you can find out what affordable prices are within your market and people are actually moving there to your market, there is still an opportunity. Would you agree? And if so, do you have any success stories to share from recent clients that have been able to still be successful even within this current market?
Couldn't agree more. In fact, I recently published something. I'll have to see if I can find it and share it with your team for the notes. Speaking about this dynamic specifically, one of the things that happened throughout after the great financial crisis in 2008, 2009 is new home builders specifically underbuilt. And that's kind of well documented. We underbuilt. We used to build at least 1 million homes a year, often 1.5 million homes a year. We started building $500,000 homes a year, so half, and we did that over 10 years. So that compounds. There's a reason why we're so short in the supply. And what's also at play, which isn't as discussed, is that for a number of reasons, new home builders actually went up market. So they went to higher priced properties. It used to be that new home builders on average would build properties that were affordable. Then it's not anymore. The average new home build has crept up by several hundred thousand. I can't remember the exact number. I wrote it in my article, but it's 560,000 or something, I believe. And what's happened is the actual affordable segment of the market has been completely underbuilt. It has truly been underbuilt. And from a demand standpoint, nothing's changed, right? There are more millennials than any other generation before us. Before baby boomers, and I'm a millennial, that's why I said that. I'm the very cusp. And family formation and other reasons to want to buy homes continue to exist. Job growth is actually okay. And so for a number of reasons, demand is still in the millions, while supply has completely dried up at this affordable price point. So what you're describing in terms of opportunity to do high quality, affordable properties couldn't be more true. And our members mostly are operating in that segment of the market. So we have members We have many, many, many members who are scaling their business, who are doing, wanted to start, had a goal for 2023 to do 7 properties and did 10, wanted to do 3 and did 5, or did what they wanted to do, or 1 or 2 less, and that's okay too. And we have members who are setting higher goals for themselves for 2024, understanding where they play and which market they play in. Our members, on average, when they either sell or refi, when they're done with a project, it's still a sub $400,000 property on average, right? It's still an affordable property in most markets, and they're making great profit. They're making on average $82,000 on every.
Wow!
And so it's amazing to see the success that our members are having. Again, using hopefully things that we can help them with, and their alpha, right? Really unlocking their alpha. Going back to the beginning part of the conversation.
Yeah. That's amazing. Oh, wow. That got me excited. That's really great. Okay. So we covered just about, my mind is like going because I'm like so excited about the conversation, because I think it's important to understand the facts and what is actually happening in the market, and to actually like be able to like peel back the noise and really understand, like even from our standpoint, in my market in Atlanta, the average home prices are $400,000. So like, you're right at, where it is. And it's really hard to find a $400,000 home in a neighborhood with good schools and all the things. So that's really great. Okay. So I want to know, I'm trying to think of which direction I want to go. Okay. So you guys are unique. The fact that you have a community aspect of it. One, I want you to tell me more about the Backflip community, and then talk to me about the motivation to create a community around your company, because I've never ever seen that at all. With whether you're talking about banks, I just haven't seen it. And previously, before becoming a real estate investor, I worked with a major bank for 9 years. So I'm definitely deep into this industry. Have never seen this before. So share that with me.
And I'm glad you asked. The community pillar, right? We've talked a lot about technology and software and data and how it can help. We've talked about finance and capital and things that we're doing there that are different and innovative and helpful, we think. And it all plays together. Community is in that same why, which is, it starts with, we want more than anything for our entrepreneurs to be as successful as possible. And by the way, have some fun along this journey, right? This isn't like the easiest thing, right? We talked about how many things you have to be good at, and it can be kind of lonely. It can be kind of, as an entrepreneur myself, and entrepreneurs, it's a lonely journey. Allowing others to connect with like-minded folks is how we think about community. And so your podcast is part of a community and building a community. And unfortunately, then there's this guru segment, and I was touching on why I'm not so fond of that part of the market. A community isn't something to monetize. It isn't something to like, especially not to like give some tips to and then good luck.
Right.
It's very different, and it's different for us. And thankfully, we have a successful business. Like, we need the business to still make money, which it does, but we're long-term greedy. And the key for us is, how can a member be set up for as much success as possible? Well, let's create a community. Let's create containers, right, to allow folks to meet other like-minded entrepreneurs. We've started all sorts of really amazing things online. There's a bunch of webinars. People can consume the content. It's archived, but also can attend and participate real time. People join from everywhere, all over the country. We have a bunch of in real life community stuff. We're active in several markets. You can look up which markets we're most active in for community. But many things that we do are very unique. So we host a closing dinner. Everyone who recently had success and closed a transaction, let's bring everyone together and celebrate on Backflip.
Oh, I love that.
Nothing to do with us making money. It's not at all like, we're not selling anything. But for one night after a lot of work, let's raise a glass. Tomorrow, let's get back to work. But let's enjoy, and we do things like flipping failures, and in real life, we do several things in the middle of transactions where people can go and learn and further their education. It's awesome. And we get so much positive feedback and reinforcement that it's one of many things that energizes us.
No, it's huge. I mean, a lot of us, I know a lot of us in this community, we are the first ones to do this type of thing. We're the first ones to invest. We're the first one to take these big risks. And so sometimes you can feel like you're on an island, which makes it even more hard. And so having access to, community of people who are like-minded, who are doing it with you, it's key, especially when there are times where maybe they did their first deal and it didn't turn out fully how they thought it was going to turn out. They receive more of their back end through their experience, sometimes through than the dollar signs, and there can be this hesitation to jump back in and do it again. But being able to surround yourself with people who also experience that experience lesson, but jump back in and have success, that just being in that container and seeing that really does help people to keep going, And I always share this stat, but it's so important, especially if they connect with other people and you find accountability. Did you know this, that when you say that you have a goal and you just say it, you're only 10% likely to actually accomplish that goal. But when you actually say that you have a goal, but then you also get accountability with people who are also doing it with you, you are 90% likely now to accomplish that goal. That's huge. So I just love that you guys are able to facilitate this community to so many things. You get accountability, you get inspiration, you get tips. When I first started, I didn't know anyone else that was investing. It took me, being an agent and meeting clients to then eventually gain a mentor and things like that. But I wish I would have had other people that, could have helped encourage me and to talk me off the ledge. And I just think that's so important. So what was the motivation of incorporating community into Backflip? Where did that come from?
Well, one of our values at the company is this concept called embrace the novice to become the master. And we have, at this point, we're growing a lot as a business, as a corporation. We have about 75 employees across the country, from engineers through real estate professionals through folks that support our community efforts and finance and everything that we do. And to a T, our team members recognize the value of being comfortable making some mistakes. Right. Along the journey, right? You have to be comfortable knowing that part of growth is it's not all going to go perfectly. You want to pursue mastery. You don't want to always be making mistakes, right? Yes. But be comfortable in that part of the journey. Hopefully that helps to demystify that first step, take that first step, get over that fear. And if community can be that function, great. If mentorship can be that function, great. If our application and data can be that function, great. If having a good capital partner and partner generally can be that function with Backflip, great. We're trying to do it however we can. We don't know we're not going to prescribe a solution, but we try to do what we can as a business to support this community and everything that I've mentioned. So our community events and activities are free, right? We're not a guru. We don't charge for it. Our application is free. You can go on there and you can curate your buy box and set up your customized comps and get the AI engine to work for you, be your AI assistant in your pocket for free. Don't go hire some, very expensive engineering resource. Let us pay for those people. And we try to create compelling capital products that also set you up for more success. We are live capital-wise in 42 states. We're not in every state, but we're getting closer to being in every state and just having a lot of success. And our members pull us into new states, which is pretty amazing.
That's awesome. And
so for us, it's all about asking ourselves that fundamental question, that first principle question, like, what can we do to help? It's that simple. What can we do to help? And if we can, truly listen, deeply understand, empathize, then maybe we might, come up with some interesting things to test that might turn into some really interesting ways to help.
I love that you guys are you're innovative. Like, that's so key, because with real estate, things are always changing. And, I remember in college, I went to this first, I actually transferred to another school, but the first school I went to was a college. I'm not going to say the name of it, but they were not innovative at all. I think at the time I was trying to get my scholarship funds, and they didn't even have direct deposit. And this was like in 2005. This was not like 1993. And so I think innovation is so important, and it's also the sign of like a very energetic partner, millennial minded company, even, Gen Z company, where you really are listening to your clients and your members, and you really want to do a good job. Like that to me, that is the foundation of innovation. And I love that. Okay. So I just have a few like fire drill kind of questions that I know people are out there wondering.
Bring it on.
And then, we'll go from there. Okay. So number one, if you are a new investor, will you guys work with Backflip?
Yes. It's not most of our customers have some experience, but if you're a new investor, yes, you can certainly work with Backflip and have a lot of success.
Okay. I love it. If I am looking to buy land to build, can I work with Backflip?
So we do not finance a land purchase or a ground up deal today. Again, similar to DSCR, not today. We can help you think about what properties to buy, though. So our app can be helpful there. And a lot of folks in our community are quite active in ground up or new build or land development. So there's a lot of different ways that we can support you.
Okay, that's helpful. And I guess lastly, like where do people go if they want to learn more about Backflip and your company and connect with you guys?
Yeah, so we have all the standard channels. We have the domain backflip.com. So if you just go to backflip.com, that's us. We have an application, mobile application that you can download on the Apple iOS store and on the Google Play Store. That's quite helpful. We are also on like the social channels. We have an Instagram account. We have a YouTube account. We're growing our own presence, I believe, in a podcast series. I think we've released a few podcasts so far. I think more to come on that front. So there's several different ways to connect. And the easiest and best thing to do is download the application, create an account. We do need a membership, which means you need to give us an email address is really what that means. But that allows us to then curate the information to make it better for you. That's why we do that. And so once you create that account, you'll start getting interesting emails. You'll start, one of our success reps will reach out and try to help you and learn what you're looking for. So there's many, many ways to connect. You can find it all through backflip.com or our apps.
All right. I love it. All right. So this is great, guys. If you are looking to scale, and I don't want you guys to hear flip and you just say, okay, I'm not a flipper. No, you can leverage Backflip and a financing company to be able to buy fix and flips, to be able to do rentals, all the above. This is great. It's been such a great conversation, Josh. Thank you so, so much for being here on Wealth Within Reach. All right, guys, I'm going to link everything in the show notes. So definitely look up Backflip, download their app. You're going to be hearing more from me about Backflip because I'm super locked in, because anyway, I can save time to not have to figure out how to do things on my own. You guys know I'm going to tell you to get somebody else to do it. Okay. And so you can get Backflip to do it for you. Thank you so much, Josh, for being here, and welcome back. Well, thank you so much, Josh, for being here. And thanks for another episode of Wealth Within Reach. See y'all next time.
Thank you so much. And to your point, work on your business. Don't work in your business, right? Thank you, Erica. This is super fun.
Thank you. Hey friend, have you been enjoying this podcast and you're like, okay, Erica, how can I connect with you and other of your amazing guests that are on the podcast? You can do that within the Owning It and Living It Facebook group. I have the Owning It and Living It Facebook group to help to foster community with other like-minded real estate investors. Folks are sharing advice, I'm sharing tips, and we're fostering community so we can help take our real estate investments to the next level. If you are ready to do that, I want you to join the Owning It and Living It Facebook group. You can go to the link in the bio to join today.